Hey there everybody, Eric from Auto Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now in today's video we're going to take a look at a headlamp from the company 180 Light. So 180 Light developed a headlamp that has essentially 180 degrees of light on a headband. So it's a little bit different from, say, your typical style headlamp. The 180 Light headlamp having an array of LEDs from one side of the headband all the way around, creating a nice even beam of 180 degree light. Now recently we looked at a similar type of offering from the company Herkins. Herkins has the Orbit headlamp, but I can tell you that this 180 Light is quite different. The two of these lights both having their advantages and disadvantages, but the first thing that struck me is this 180 Light is very light. So this is a nice quality lightweight option, has 180 degree nice even illumination, excellent set and array of LEDs from one side of the headband to the other. So this is a good option if you're looking for something that's lightweight. Maybe you're going to use it running, maybe you're going to use it mountain biking, backpacking, camping, something like that. You could even use this for good overall utility purpose. So with that said, I have a number of things to show you about this headlamp from 180 Light. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to talk about, do me a favor. Stay tuned. So as we get into this headlamp from 180 Light, you will see the packaging here, which comes with your micro USB charging cable, as well as the 180 Light instructional and informational pamphlet. So getting into this, very simple overall, you will see that this has an 1800 milliamp hour battery, and this states that it takes around 2 hours to fully charge. So I have fully charged this, and this headlamp is completely ready to go at this point. Now the first thing that I'm noticing is that this does not necessarily give you the lumen output. So this light does have a couple of different modes, basically one mode being high and the other mode being low, but this does not necessarily report the lumen output. And even checking the 180 Light website, I do not necessarily see the output. Now, I believe that somewhere I did see it reported that this headlamp on the high mode is capable of emitting, I would say, around 300 lumen output. Now, I don't necessarily have any way to verify that, and I'm not sure if what is reported is accurate, but I do believe the high mode to this to be roughly around that 300 lumen output. So looking at the general features of this light, you will notice that this array of LEDs going from one side of this headband to the other is mounted on essentially a nice quality soft headband. And that's what I greatly enjoy about this product. I like the fact that this is a good soft headband, so very, very comfortable. Feels excellent while you're wearing it on your forehead, and does have the ability to wick away some moisture. So if you're going to be using this in a high activity type of situation, I would think this would be very advantageous between the fact that, first off, it is quite lightweight. Second off, has that nice soft headband, and third, has a good even beam of light. So this is a nice quality product that I believe could be used in a number of different situations. So getting into it, let's just say, for example, you do sweat a lot and this headband's starting to get a little bit grody. Well, this is capable of being completely removed, which is excellent. So you can remove the LED array, you can pull the battery out, and then this headband itself is washable, which is very nice. So I do like the fact that this is totally capable of being cleaned. You can wash it. It's fully adjustable, has a nice quality elastic band, so it gives you the flexibility that you need to adjust it to the proper size, and then overall the ability to clean this if you need to. So now taking a look at the battery pack, you will see this is a nice, small, compact, and lightweight battery pack. You have the option to get multiple battery packs if you'd like. You can actually buy this entire kit with multiple batteries right off the get-go, which is nice. And so if you are in a situation where you think you're going to be using a lot of battery power, it would be nice to actually get a second battery. Now, for me personally, I have not tested this to the point where I know exactly how long this battery is going to last, but at 1800 milliamp hours, you do potentially want to think about how much you're going to be using the light, what scenario you're going into, and whether or not you may need an additional battery pack. But very simple operation with this little button here. So pressing it once, turning it to the high mode, second time to the low mode, and a third time is off. So very simple functionality. This button here is basically sticking out just a little bit beyond flush. So easy to find it with your fingers. Nice little tactile means to find that button and to press it when you need to. So generally very simple functionality. So taking a look at reinstalling the battery, you'll see that if you're not careful, you don't necessarily get this oriented in the proper direction. So you do want to pay attention to which way this goes. Now here you'll see that this headband, if this is in the upright position, the battery kind of goes in maybe what looks to be upside down. But sliding that into place, taking just a little bit of care to make sure this elastic is around very nicely and even. Sliding this into place, it's just a touch snug, not a big deal. That's what you want. You don't want this thing flopping around and flapping in the breeze. So fitting in there nice and snug, that's exactly what you want. And paying attention to reinstalling the actual headlamp, you'll see that the Velcro pretty much aligns on this end with this lead popping into place right there and plugging in, and then easily installing this headlamp right around the headband, paying attention, making sure that it aligns nicely with the Velcro and getting it into place. But now that this is in place, depressing that button one time, you will see that is the high mode. So a good quality even beam. Now this light is quite cool. You'll notice it is a cool white and has a good even glow to it. And actually, for the most part, appears to be casting the light somewhat in the down direction. So I'm not sure if these LEDs are a little bit directional, but they kind of seem like they may be. As I look closely and try to identify that, it's kind of hard to tell. I really can't tell specifically. However, just looking at the overall quality of the beam here as it casts down, if you look at how it looks in this direction versus when I flip this over, I guess it's pretty similar, but hard to say. I feel like now these lights are shining more in my eyes. I'm seeing and noticing the light more directly in my eyes versus here. I feel like I don't see it quite as much. So again, I'm not sure if these lights are slightly cast in the down direction. However, you do need to be careful just to ensure that the lead is in the proper location and that you have it oriented so that you can plug the lights into the battery. Now the operation of this light, again, very simple. One press is high, a second press is low, and a third press is off. So no real frills about it. Very simple operation. A single press to good high quality output. So that's your highest mode. I believe roughly around that 300 lumen output. A second press, hard to say. Maybe that's half power. Not too sure. And then that third press and it's off. So now getting into wearing the headband. This is very, very comfortable. That is the one thing that I like about this. It fits very well. I like the fact that you can adjust it. In fact, right now I might have it just a touch tight, but even at that, feels great. This is not going anywhere. It is very firm and secure on your head, which is wonderful for that sort of athletic application. Maybe you're running around, maybe you're jumping around or riding a bike, or you're doing something where you really want this to stay on your head. This thing is going nowhere, and with that sweatband, it is excellent. So for me, this becomes a left-handed operation, and reaching back and just grabbing it with my thumb. That is kind of the way I need to deal with this. Now, other than that, it's a little bit awkward to kind of twist your hand around and push on the button. For me, it's kind of just reaching up, grabbing the actual battery pack and pushing that button once to high, once to low, and off. So turning off the lights, you'll see that I am in my office still, but clicking on the headlamp, pressing it once, this is now on the high mode. And I've noticed that this has kind of an interesting phenomenon. If you've seen black lights, this has a similar light quality to a black light. So looking at things that have kind of fluorescent colors like the knife handles in here, and things like my sheaths for my T17, and then over here just this orange on this hammock, and all these little things that just have some bright colors to them, they absolutely stand out. So it's the fact that the LEDs are actually kind of beaming through this plastic little lens in the front that kind of gives it a look of similarity to like a black light. But the light is very even, and I very much like that. If you look at how absolutely perfect and even the light is on camera, I mean, check that out. Absolutely perfect and even everywhere I look. And that is an advantage that I see to this 180 light versus the Herkins. The Herkins light, if you go back and review it, had a shadow kind of going right through my vision, and it was very distracting, and I did not like that. This 180 light is very, very even. A good quality output of light. It doesn't need to be anything more than this for like 90% of what you're going to do. I mean, let's talk about it for real. Maybe you're walking from A to B and you just really want a headlamp on your head. Maybe you're just trying to do some work around the house. Maybe you're in a campsite and you just need to do typical camp chores. I mean, right now with this amount of light, what can't I do? I can literally do everything, and this is just perfect. So do you need more output than this? No, not necessarily. So in my opinion, good even light definitely outweighs the brightness. And now turning it to low. So here is low. Also a very nice quality output of light. Now you can see a little bit of flicker in the camera. That's just a phenomenon that happens sometimes with LEDs. It's not the actual headlamp flickering to the naked eye, just the camera picking it up. But again, good quality, even output. Not quite as much light as on high, but enough to do most tasks. And maybe at this point, not causing any sort of night vision problems. So maybe you're in your campsite and you just need to kind of get around and do some basic tasks. This to me would be absolutely perfect. Now, do I think this has enough light to navigate through the deepest and darkest of woods? Well, if you don't need to see too far beyond where you're walking, then no. If you're looking to illuminate well off into the distance, this would not be the light for you. But if you're looking for something with good quality light, even beam of light. Now, as I keep my head straight, let me put this back on high for 1 second. As I keep my head straight, I'm staring straight, and you'll notice that the light casting to both sides equally evenly. Again, 180 degrees of light. And if you look far enough over, by the time you kind of get beyond my head, the light starts to drop off. So having that nice, even 180 degree beam of light, good quality, even light, very soft and nice to the eyes, no shadows, no distractions. This to me is a wonderful headlamp. And so again, using this headlamp, you'll notice that you can see the light illuminating on both sides of my head and really casting out onto my hands. Now I can see in my peripheral vision quite well all the way to about here. It's not really distracting. It's just illuminating beside me. And that's the quality of light you get with one of these 180 degree headlamps. And again, when I need to, just clicking onto that low mode and turning it off. Not too difficult at all. Now this 180 light does also offer a waistband. So you do have the ability to add an accessory waistband if you'd like. Put this around your waist and give you an alternate carry option. I do like that. The Herkins lamp was also capable of doing that, and I very much like that feature. I think it gives you a couple of different options, gives you the ability to use this for some safety, do some reading, very easy tasks where you don't necessarily need the headlamp to move with your head. Maybe you want it to be stationary out in front of you. That's definitely an excellent option. Now, before I go away, I'd like to say thank you very much to the people at 180 Light for providing this product for review. I'm very happy with it. I think this is a great product. And for all the rest of you, there is a new version coming out very soon. So an additional version of the 180 Light. So if you like what you see here, pay attention out into the future for their upcoming release. So all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.